Good evening, everybody. It is time for the Dentist Show, and I haven't seen you guys in a little while. I hope you guys are fine. It's good to see you. It is still COVID times. Can you imagine? COVID is still with us, and it's December. Like this COVID, this man or this uncle or whatever it is, because I know it's not a girl or a woman. It's definitely got to be a man thing. But you know, COVID actually needs to go. We can't enter 2021 with COVID. Like, no, it needs to stop. But I welcome you all to the Dentist Show. Today we are talking about shea butter, the importance of shea butter. We know that a lot of major companies, like even Body Shop, source their shea butter from Ghana. What is so important, or what are the benefits of using shea butter? I've got Bernice, who's an entrepreneur, and she started her brand called Enkuto Haven. So Enkuto is basically in Chi, means shea butter. And I'm also joined by a specialist dermatologist, Dr. Yvette Appiah, who also happens to be on the GUBA board. She's an amazing doctor, and she's going to be joining us as well. So guys, I want to know where you're watching me from. Let me know in the comment section. Are you watching me in the US? Where are you watching the show from today? I don't know whether some of you have seen, but we recently launched my daughter's brand called Princess Aria Shea Butter, and it's a partnership between Enkuto Haven and Princess Aria. And we'll get Bernice to talk about that a bit more in depth. But before, we're going to talk to her about, you know, her journey, why Enkuto in the first place. And then we'll talk to my amazing doctor, Dr. Yvette Appiah. So let me start off with Bernice. Hi, Bernice.
Hello, Denta.
How are you?
I'm all right. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me on today's show. We've got a lot of people that are watching us today that are, you know, some of them wanting to start their own brand in shea butter. Some of them, you know, wanted to hear your journey on why you chose to do shea butter in the first place. So introduce yourself, let us know more about you and why you decided to do Enkuto Haven.
Okay, I'm Bernice Bakwin. A University of Ghana graduate. I'm in my first year in the LB Law.
Law.
Hello?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I'm in my first year in the law school in China. I started in Enkuto Haven in 2017 after my national service. So basically, I found shea butter. I knew the benefits of shea butter, and I wanted to share it with the world. That is the story of Enkuto Haven.
That's it. Like, who did you see shea butter somewhere nicely packaged that you thought, oh, I can?
No.
What was it?
No, I was actually fighting eczema in my second year in the university. Okay. I was trying several things. I was trying everything actually, and nothing seemed to work. I told my mom about it. She just asked me to use Enkuto. She was just like, go and use Enkuto. So I tried shea butter for a week, and everything cleared from my face. Everything. Wow. Everything just cleared from my face. Yes. And I was surprised. So after I used it throughout school for my skin, I used to use the shea butter with baby oil, with the cousin's baby oil. I'll mix both, and then for my face, just the raw shea butter. And after school, after my national service, I decided to do my own business, start my own business, and start my own brand. And I made several inquiries. I made several surveys on why people did not appreciate shea butter, why people look down on shea butter actually. And I asked, and why do you think everybody? Yeah, why do you think they look? Mm-hmm. Why do you think they look down? Yeah. So most of the answers I got were that because of the pungent smell and because it was too hard to use. That was like basically everybody saying, like everybody that I got was saying, oh, the smell is too strong or it's too hard to use. So then I decided to battle those two things: how I'm going to make it softer for everybody to be able to use, and how to reduce the pungent smell.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So that's how you went. So you started in 2000. And what were your friends saying, when you decided to do shea butter? Did you get
My
any
friends were
support?
Yeah, my friends were very supportive. Most of my friends were quite supportive. If some of them weren't, then they never told me. But the friends I had, the friends that I knew, they were very supportive. And most of my friends started just using shea butter every time because of me. Most of them didn't use shea butter before. I would tell them, "Oh, it's great. You should try it." And then everybody just started using shea butter. So my friends were
Okay.
quite supportive.
So how did you get, you talked about the smell of shea butter. How were
Yeah.
you able to get that smell from it and make it that softness that you spoke about?
Yeah. So to make the shea butter softer, there should be other cold pressed oils added to the shea butter. So I initially I was using several cold pressed oils, but it depends on what your problem is. A lot of people have allergies to several things. So you would tell me, it was very small in the beginning. So I would talk to my customers one on one, like, what is your problem, what allergies do you have, so that I
Mm.
make it specially for you. Now we make it in bulk. Yeah, now we make it in bulk, so that has to reduce, because we can't go ahead and talk to every single individual and know what they want. So we used coconut oil, avocado oil, which is good for every skin type, every hair type, and anybody can use it. So we use those two oils, and then there's one that we add honey to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so and for the smell, I add essential oils because I wanted to do something that was organic, 100% organic, without including fragrance and all of. I wanted everything I add to the shea butter to improve the quality of the shea butter and the benefits on the skin. So
Okay.
basically, that is it. Yeah.
Okay. But before using shea butter, were there any other creams that you actually used?
Yes, I tried. Like I said earlier, I was battling acne, and I tried everything. I tried Nivea body lotion. I tried Palmer's body lotion. I was using Vaseline body lotions. And one thing about my skin is that okay, basically one thing about the skin is it needs to be moisturized, it needs to be nourished every single time. Like the
Okay.
way we drink water every time, the skin needs its own water, which is a lot of oil, because we go out in the sun. We need a lot of protection on the skin. And one thing I have realized is that because lotions are water based, they soak in fast into the skin. The skin absorbs it very fast, and then it leaves the skin very flaky, very dry.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was it. I wanted to do something that was oil based, that is good for the skin, and can be absorbed in the skin for a very long time.
Okay. Fantastic. I'm going to bring on Dr. Yvette. So she is a dermatologist. I've had the opportunity to interview her twice for my show, and I'm going to introduce her now. Dr. Yvette.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I am well. How are you guys doing?
We're good, thank you. We are fantastic. Doc, first of all, can you just like tell us a bit more about what you do? Obviously, you're a dermatologist, you've been working in the field for a very long time. How important is finding the right product for your skin as a dermatologist, and what do you see regularly?
Oh, wow. The right product is like the make or break of your skin, because if you don't get the right thing that your skin can accept, it causes a lot of inflammation, it causes a lot of rashes, it can cause over dryness, and it can make you break out. So it's so important that you find the right thing that's good for your skin type. And not just your skin type, but you also know what kind of skin problems you have. Do you have dry skin? Do you have eczema? Do you have psoriasis? Are there any things that you're trying to work towards? So it's ultra important. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. I can't believe it, but it's been
Wow.
20 years since I've been doing this. And Every day, patients come in here and they're frustrated. And the first thing I say is, so what are you using for your skin? And then you find out this patient has been sticking to the same thing that is really wrong for their skin type. Based on the problems that they're having, the things they're trying to address, they're on the completely opposite of what they're supposed to be on. And a lot of times that can start problems. And just withdrawing that can actually set somebody on the right path towards having great skin and worry-free skin, really. But it is very important, as she said before, it's very important that your skin is moisturized, because the moisture in the water that's in your skin not only is needed for the daily function of the skin, it's also needed to keep your pH of the skin in balance. It's needed to prevent overgrowth of bacteria. It's needed to plump up the cells so they don't look dry and dehydrated, which gives you that flaky look to your skin. So it's very, very important that you find the right product for you. And that's one of the reasons I tell people you need to find a dermatologist if you're having problems with your skin. Find a dermatologist, because it's just a little bit of education and you really start your way on the right path.
Okay. So, Doc, I mean, today we're discussing about shea butter, the importance of it. We've been using it. All I've known as a child is that my parents, just use shea butter for my skin. Is shea butter overrated? Is it really a good product? Should we be using it? I mean, shea butter for us, we can cook with it as well as use it for your skin. We can use it for hair and hair growth and dry scalp. Is it that good of a product?
I mean, millions of people can't be wrong. If it was that bad a product, millions of people wouldn't be tied to it. So yes, shea butter is a good product. Listen, it's got lots of different benefits that you can get from it. The one thing that you have to be careful, again, is knowing your skin type and knowing that you shouldn't be using a product that doesn't really go with your skin type. So if you're acne prone, I mean, a lot of times you see on the internet, a lot of people say, shea butter is non-comedogenic, which means it doesn't clog your pores, so it doesn't give you acne. Well, that's not true. If you have a regular skin type and you're not acne prone, it doesn't. But if you're acne prone, it may not be clogging your pores, but it may be occlusive. So it's really just sticking and covering everything, allowing dead cells to stay on the skin and clog your pores. So by itself may not do that, but depending on what is going on with your skin, it can clog your pores. But anybody can use shea butter. It's really just in the constitution that's best for your skin. So one of the things that shea butter has is it's got a lot of fatty acids in there. And one of them, oleic acid in particular, helps sort of make way for things to get into your skin. So at the very least, it's used as a great carrier oil in certain products. When it's mixed with other products like glycolic acids, they can be really great. They allow them to penetrate. And then even as those are exfoliating the skin, you still have something that's moisturizing your skin. It's very anti-inflammatory. So even for people who have acne, if they're using it in the right combination with the right things, it can be very beneficial because it'll stop a lot of big inflammation of the big kind of pimples that you get. It'll calm that down a little bit. If you get a lot of scarring, it's great for healing of the skin. So they're very varied benefits and everybody can use it, but it has to be in the right constitution. It has to be processed the right way because not all shea butter is equal. Even when we pluck them off the trees, we know that shea butter from East Africa and shea butter from West Africa have different constituents. Some of them have more fatty acids, and then some of them have more of the antioxidants that are in shea butter. So it really depends on the shea butter you're using. The processing of it is important. If they're doing a lot of heating and overboiling of it, if they're dry roasting it, it can cause little hydrocarbons in it. So it's really just important to find out the process that the manufacturer is using. How are they using? What kind of products are they getting from? Are they organic? How much of it is in the product is very important also. Because that's if it's just like a little tiny drop and they're saying it's shea butter, you're not getting any benefit from it. And unfortunately, a lot of the times that's what happens. So everybody can use it. I mean, shea butter has great, great benefits. I have seen places where they say, it induces collagen and for promotion of collagen formation and regeneration of cells. Some of the things are more anecdotal. People are happy with it. They see an improvement in their skin, but there may not be any scientific basis in it. And in the sense that it hasn't really been tested. It hadn't been studied. If you look at cocoa butter, for example, it's been studied up the wazoo. Sheabutter is a relatively new product in the last 30 years, I would say. 30, 40 years, it's a new product. For the rest of the world, we in Africa, we've been using it forever. So there are not a lot of studies that have been done that are double-blinded, that have no bias to them, that show these benefits. So then it's hard to say, yes, definitely it does this. But just anecdotally, we see that people see improvement in their skin when they use shea butter, and everybody loves it.
Yeah. And then so how about on using shea butter for the hair?
So that's another area where it's really, what is shea butter doing? When you think about your hair, the things that you're trying to promote are growth, hair growth, and you're also trying to promote strong hair shaft, and prevent, of course, falling out of the hair. But unfortunately, some people also have things like medical dandruff, which is like seborrheic dermatitis, where they get a lot of flaking on their scalp, right? So for those people, when you're putting heavy things on your scalp, all you're doing is matting the scale onto your scalp. So it's really going to cause a lot more inflammation, and it's going to irritate your scalp, and it's going to do you no good. But shea butter has some, some of the things they do is open up blood vessels, allow a lot of blood flow to the skin, and those kinds of things will improve hair growth and keep your hair shaft healthy as it comes out of the follicle. So for hair and lubricating the hair itself, absolutely, it's a fatty acid. It's got oleic acids and linoleic acids in there. So it's by all means going to be great for lubricating your hair. The one thing you have to be careful of is that it's a heavy one that you're using. It's not getting all over your face. It's not getting on your pillow at night and getting onto your face, because again, then it might break you out. You might get some acne breakouts. So again, the constituency of it is very important. The additives that are put in it to work together, because in dermatology, any dermatology website like Consult will tell you, they don't rely on one thing for anything. Everything works together, and everything is synergistic. So you have to make sure that you have the other things that can complement shea butter when you're using it on your hair.
But you also see that, people, especially people that use the shea butter in the north, they've got a certain skin tone. It's smooth. It looks really good. And what they say is that it's all shea butter,
because they've been plumping their skin with moisture since they were born. Okay. And these days, if you think about it, we talk a lot about moisturizer. I mean, I've never had moisturizer talked about so much since I started my career. We've always talked about it as dermatologists. People come in and say, oh no, I just use water on my face. I don't put moisturizer. I'm afraid it's going to break me up. Now everybody's kind of learning you need that moisture for your skin, because it keeps the skin cells healthy, it keeps them plump. And if you've been doing that all this time, you tend to have just sort of that natural glow and that natural filling of the skin. Then there's the anti-inflammatory benefits. You're not walking around with a lot of inflammation on your skin, because unfortunately, especially for dark skinned people, if you go outside with any inflammation on your skin, it turns dark. All right. So you are protected a little bit with this anti-inflammatory benefit. The other thing shea butter is known for is having some sun protective effect. So what it does, it doesn't have a huge SPF. When it's been studied and after it's been processed in the different batches, it seems to have like an SPF, the sun protection factor, of about 5 to 8. That is the one thing that I tell people. If you don't want to look like you've aged, if you want to look young, if you want your skin to stay healthy, the one thing you must do is protect your skin from the sun. So shea butter does give you some benefit with that. It's also it also has a lot of antioxidants in it. So one of the most common antioxidants that it has in there keeps cells from dying prematurely or being damaged by the sun, the environment, smoking, things like that. So there's a lot that's going in there. A lot of those properties are working together to sort of keep your skin looking young, fresh, filled, plump, and giving you that glow. So if they've been using it forever, yeah, it's no wonder. It's going to be very different for somebody who's just started using it a year ago. But if you've done it forever, it's definitely going to be giving you the benefits that you need. Again, word of caution is just make sure that it's working for your skin type. I mean, if you've been using it for 18 years and it hasn't broken you out, it's working out for you, you're not getting acne, you're doing fine. You're perfect.
Absolutely. Because going back to Bernice says that she she had bad eczema, bad acne, and she tried a lot of different products, nothing was working. And then she found Sheabutter, and it improved her skin dramatically. For people who are, looking for a product in terms of their eczema, would you also recommend Sheabutter? Or, I mean, what would you recommend in that situation?
Absolutely. Sheabutter is one of the things that I love for eczema. I've had eczema all my life. The only reason people don't see the effects of it on my skin is because I moisturize daily. Again, Bernice found something that worked for her skin, that did well for her skin, as it will do for lots and lots and lots of other people. The fatty acids in Sheabutter will do nothing but moisturize your skin. What they do is they stay on the skin, they keep water from evaporating from your skin. And that's the basis of eczema. It's that when your skin gets dry, it feels irritated, it feels angry. Your immune system is activated. You get all this itching. And then the more scratching you do, the itchier it gets. You're sort of recruiting more of those inflammatory cells, and you're getting more itchy. So with something that's an anti-inflammatory, one is going to stop your itching and the inflammation that you're getting in the skin, and Sheabutter does that, so it's going to calm it down. Two, you need to restore that sort of the skin barrier. And what Sheabutter does with the fatty acids is sort of seal the cracks that you have that form in your skin when you have eczema, to prevent water from evaporating from your skin. So it's great at that. And then it prevents the, basically when a lot of antibacterial effects also. So it doesn't allow bacterial growth in the skin. Because when you have eczema, one of the things you have to be very careful about is getting opportunistic infections that sort of are able to creep in where they otherwise wouldn't, because now you've gotten, your barrier has been compromised. So there's a way for the bacteria to get down deep and cause all kinds of, problems and havoc in your skin. And Sheabutter tends to prevent that because it's an antibacterial. So absolutely, for eczema, there's no reason not to try Sheabutter. Now, the one thing we need to remember is that the Sheabutter comes from a nut, okay? It has been studied a lot. And people who are allergic to tree nuts may react to it, but most of the time they don't, because the proteins that are in the nut part of Sheabutter are not the same kind of proteins that are usually in tree nuts. So they don't cause a lot of allergies. I have had some patients that I've had to take off Sheabutter because it's made them very itchy. There are a couple of ways that can happen, but at least trying it, there's really no reason if you should be in any part of Africa that has Sheabutter and be suffering from eczema, because even the products that we use here, like ceramides, and a lot of really good lotions that I love, like Cetaphil cream, Sheabutter has been shown in studies to be more moisturizing than ceramides.
Okay.
So it's a powerful product. Unfortunately, it hasn't been studied as much. And I wish that it would get more studies done with it to actually show unbiased benefits from the products. So studies that we can actually look side to side and say, yes, it definitely is doing this. So right now, the only things that have been proven is that it's an antibacterial, and it's an anti-inflammatory, and it has antioxidants in it, and probably has some antibacterial effects.
Okay. And what about, combining it with different products? So for instance, Bernice, she uses fragrance like what's it called? Bernice, what do you use in the Sheabutter? Sorry, just lost.
I use Sheabutter with coconut oil, and then the fragrances we add are the essential oils. So lavender essential oil and rosemary essential oil.
How are those combinations? Are they good combinations, Yvette?
So she's reaching out for oils that have certain properties that also will help, especially if you have eczema. So lavender is an anti-inflammatory oil. So that helps with it. Coconut oil has a lot of benefits that are similar to Sheabutter. So it's got the fatty acids also in it. And then the last one you mentioned was what? What other oil?
Essential oils.
There's coconut oil, lavender. And then, for fragrances, I would say that if you're using fragrances, you just have to make sure, the person has to make sure that they're not allergic to the product. But that's every other product on the market. I mean, before you use it, just because you're not allergic to fragrance doesn't mean that you're not going to be allergic to something as simple as petrolatum. It really just depends. They're not usually allergenic, but it can happen. So the only thing I would say is for people to just make sure that whatever else is in there, and I'm sure she lists her products, the ingredients on the product line, and you can just check and make sure that it's not anything that you're allergic to. But certainly, if you're using anti-inflammatory things, adding to the shea butter, those are definitely beneficial.
And what about tea tree?
So tea tree oil is also another anti-inflammatory oil. Tea tree oil, I tell people to be very careful with it because there have been studies with tea tree oil. It has great antibacterial and antifungal activity. So it really works well for that. I usually tell people just be careful with it because a lot of people can have allergies to the tea tree oil and it can irritate their skin. So again, it's just looking at the list of ingredients and making sure that there are no known allergies. If you're using something on your skin, regardless of what it is, whether a doctor gave it to you or you bought it in the store, and you notice a change in the skin, you should always consider whether or not you're allergic to a negative change. You should always consider, am I allergic to this product? Is it causing me more inflammation in my skin? And a couple of ways you can do that is to just try a little bit of it behind your ear or in the crook of your arm for about 5 days in a row. And if it's not giving you a rash, chances are something else is going on. And then at that point, you can always reach out to your dermatologist to make sure that you're not doing anything that's counterproductive for your skin. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of just checking to see if you're allergic to it.
And do you think that a lot of skin problems is caused by creams or by things that we also eat?
The skin is really strange. Most of its guardianship is sort of on the outside of it. Okay. However, if you take anything in that your immune system recognizes as foreign, you're not just going to feel it in your skin. The skin is going to show it the most, but you'll feel it in the mouth and the mucous membrane. Some people have diarrhea with it. Some people will throw up with it. So if you're allergic, some people get swollen lymph nodes. So if it's something that you're taking internally, yes, it can cause an inflammation. If it's something you're putting on, more than likely, if you're allergic to it, you're going to know in the first week or so, because you'll start gradually itching. And by the 10th day, you have a full-blown rash. Now, there's also those who are irritated by it. So an irritant dermatitis is kind of different from an allergic dermatitis in that all of us will react to it if we use too much of it. So it's not peculiar to just a group of people who react to it or whose immune system doesn't like it. But that's also a reaction that sometimes people can have. And so it's very important to sort of separate the different things so that you feel like, I can't use this product at all. Maybe you can use the product, you're just using it the wrong way. So a lot of things that we put on our skin will irritate our skin. The problem with dark skin is frequently you won't see that it's irritating your skin in red. We're all looking for things that make our skin red or give us bumps, but that's not always the reaction you see. Sometimes you just feel itchy all the time. If you're constantly scratching your neck all the time, every time you put it on, that's not normal. You're not supposed to be doing that. You may not notice the inflammation. You'll go out in the sun, spend some time in the sun, and I see this all the time. You'll come in to my office and you have this dark halo all around here. And you can always tell when somebody's putting on something on their skin that's irritating their skin or giving them a frank allergy. You can always tell just by looking at their skin. So I don't think one is worse than the other. Again, it's just a matter of what your skin will react to or your immune system will decide that it doesn't like and is going to react against. So it's not one or the other. I don't think that people, but I think it's very important, again, to find what works for your skin. And if you're having trouble, you need a dermatologist to figure it out. Have a dermatologist figure it out so you have the information that you need to be on the right path. And until you do that, it doesn't matter whether it is you're eating it or whether you're putting it on your skin, it's going to continue giving you a problem. So there are different types of ways that it can happen. All of them need to be looked at. Everything is important. It's just the same as taking care of your skin. It's just as important to have a healthy diet and put in greens and all the good stuff, the antioxidants in your body, as well as it is to take care of your skin from the outside. If you only take care of your skin from the outside, it may look smooth, but it'll be saggy because you will be able to tell. So one is not more important than the other. Both are very important.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go back to Bernice and just talk a bit more about her products, her brand. So this is your brand, nicely packaged, in a jar. It's FDA approved. How was the process like getting your product FDA approved in Ghana?
It wasn't easy. You know the way Ghanaians work. we have a timeline and they always exceed the timeline unless there's a little bit of tips here and there. It's not bribe. I mean, we are in Ghana. It is not bribe. So a little bit of tips here and there. If you get a lawyer to do that process, it is easier. It's faster for you. So they have samples of it, test it in their labs, check sanitary conditions for producing the items. So wherever you're producing, they would come and inspect, and if they are satisfied with everything, they will give you that approval.
Okay, all right. So talk us through your products. I can see some lip balm there. Is that a soap? Go through the products that we can see on the screen.
Hello, Denta.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was saying, talk us through the
question again?
Can we talk us through the products that we see on the screen?
All right, sure. So I have this, which is our Sheabutter with coconut oil, and we have the Sheabutter balance with honey and glycerin, which is our best seller actually. And it is basically Sheabutter with coconut oil and Sheabutter with honey and glycerin, both with lavender essential oil and rosemary essential oil in different sizes. So we have this in 100 ml. This is both in 100 grams. And we have this in 250 grams. And our lip products are also made with shea butter. So this.
Okay. So how do you make the lip balm? Go ahead.
It is basically wax. It's basically wax and then shea butter. We melt the shea butter, include the wax, and then whatever flavoring we're adding to that product we do.
Okay, is that what you got in your lips this evening? That's shiny.
Yes.
On the screen?
Yes, everything is shea butter. Everything is shea butter.
I love it. And then is that soap as well? Do you do soap?
No, we are still in the process of making soap. I'm trying to find the most organic materials to make the soap because I do not want to add foreign products. I do not want to add preservatives or additives here and there to take away from the organicness of it. So I want to find the best product before I start venturing into soap making, because soap making is a bit complicated as compared to making body butters.
Yeah.
And
how was
make
COVID?
the soap soon.
How have you coped with COVID and your business?
It hasn't been easy. Everybody's complaining of cash inflow, cash outflow. So it hasn't been easy, especially with us online shops and us small startups like myself. It hasn't been easy, but with God, we know everything is going to be fine. We are still in business. We haven't died yet. So I believe it will get better from here.
Bernice.
Hello.
Oh, I think my thing went off a little bit. I didn't hear the ending of what you said. Sorry.
Okay, I said that we are still in business. It hasn't been easy. Especially with everything, especially with shipping halting and all of that. It hasn't been easy. People place orders and you can't ship out to them. But I know that from here it gets better. So we are going to get better from here because you're still in business.
Okay. So has Sheabutter really helped you in terms of, you know, helping you finance different things in your life as, you know, as a young person?
Yes, my law my law school is being financed by my Sheabutter business.
Wow.
Whether you believe it or not, yes, I am using this business to put myself through law school after my bachelor's degree, because I've always wanted to be a lawyer, actually. So yeah, it's financing me, myself. I take care of myself, and it is my business that does that.
Wow. Yvette, when somebody, a young person says that, what do you think? What do you say to that? For somebody also that has your own product, which we'll talk about in a second, how does that make you feel as a young person that's saying her Sheabutter product is actually seeing her through school?
I mean, this is the highest form of entrepreneurship, right? And it sort of reminds us that you don't have to have everything, every degree to be able to do well in this world. You just have to have the passion and the drive and a little bit of technical know-how. But primarily, if you believe in yourself, you believe in your product, you can make it, because you are the proof of your product. If you are selling shea butter and you're touting all of its benefits, and people can see it in your skin, they're gonna be like, wow, well, I'm gonna try it. So it doesn't take much for you to be successful. It warms my heart that somebody so young has started thinking on that level at this point in the game, because that's really where the ingenuity in entrepreneurship comes in, is when somebody is young but they're still able to pivot in that environment and find their way, their place in the market. And that's really, I mean, I'm so proud of her. I don't know Bernice from a hole in the wall, but I am so proud to hear somebody who's also Ghanaian, a young Ghanaian, that driven, and that has that passion to follow their dreams, and and modeling it after what you need, because they say necessity is the mother of invention. When she couldn't find what worked for her, she made what worked for her. And then now other people can benefit from it also. And I think that's just the main drive of innovation.
Absolutely. When I hear young people that there's no jobs, there's so many things that you can do for yourself as a young person, as an entrepreneur. Bernice, talk to us about the new partnership with Princess Aria, how it all came about. Yes.
So a new product with Princess Aria, it's basically body butters, but for kids, suitable for kids, and looks great, and branding and everything made to cater for kids. So we have the Princess Aria shea butter with vitamin E oil and vanilla, and we have one Princess Aria shea butter with peach fragrance oil and then tea tree oil.
Okay. Why those flavors?
Basically, kids and how kids are like, they love sweet smelling stuff, and we wanted to use stuff that are great for kids' skin, and like Doctor Dr. Yvette already said, tea tree oil, because of the way it may react with other skin. We had to use it in very very little quantities, but appropriate enough for you to know all the benefits, or for you to enjoy all the benefits of it.
Okay.
We made it in yellow and in the color peach to attract kids to it.
Okay. And also, I mean, when I first got the product and I smelt it, I wanted to eat it because it smells so good. It smells so good. How do you find the balance of how much of the essential oils and stuff that you need to put in to make sure?
Yes. So before I started this, like Dr. Apia already said, you have to have extensive knowledge on what you're doing. That is why I haven't ventured into making a lot of things, because I want to understand. Because I produce myself, I manufacture myself. I do not have a bunch of chemists here mixing for me. So I have to read a lot to find the right balance for every skin type and every hair type, because you're making it in bulk, it has to be suitable for majority of the public. So basically, I had to read a lot, I had to research a lot to know the balance to use for the right amount.
Okay. And how do you feel about, partnerships? How important are young people coming together to pull something together and do things together?
I didn't get that.
How important? How important is it? How important are partnerships?
Partnerships are very important, especially for small startups like Inkutu Haven. Partnerships are very, very important, because you have a very big brand or even two smaller brands, because like we say here in Ghana, two heads are better than one. So you need two minds working together, two resources coming together to produce something that is great. I mean, if you're all on the same level, if you both understand what you're partnering to do, I think partnerships are the best things that could happen to any startup, especially for young people like myself.
Awesome. Dr. Yvette, somebody sent me a message. Does Sheabutter help with lupus?
So unfortunately, lupus is an autoimmune condition, which is different from just having inflammation in the skin. And autoimmune basically means that for some reason, your immune system has decided that part of your body or part of your system is foreign to it. And so it wants to get rid of it. So it reacts towards that. So there are very specific proteins that your immune system is reacting towards. What Sheabutter can do for people with lupus is sort of improve the symptoms that having skin lesions can bring. So a lot of times with lupus, you can get lesions that scar very easily as they're healing. And the Sheabutter might potentially improve that, because it helps with natural wound healing. But also it may help break down some of that pigment as it's healing, after you've had the inflammation and it's going away, or during the time when you have the inflammation, but also calm the itching and tenderness that you can get within the skin lesions. It cannot prevent any of the inflammation that you're getting. I mean, that kind of inflammation is too much for a topical to be able to get rid of by itself if you're not treating a spot by itself locally, in which case you need even steroids. So lupus is very different kind of arena. It's the cause of it is very different, and so you have to attack it from the immune system level. It is a good adjunct to use to moisturize your skin and to protect your skin as if you're out in the sun, including sunscreen. I just want to make it clear that when I say it has some benefits protecting you from the sun, doesn't mean you should go out in the sun without sunscreen. No, you can add it to your product that has the sunscreen, because nothing is going to protect you. Nothing like sunscreen will, and other antioxidants. So it's a great antioxidant. It has some great antioxidants in it, but you should still use it with sunscreen. So for lupus, it's very important that you're getting the right treatment that you need, and you must see either a dermatologist or a rheumatologist.
Okay. Do you think that as Black people, African people, we take care of our skin as we should? Because you have amazing skin. Like, when I first met you, I was like, oh my God, this woman's skin, like, you look like when a fresh baby is just born and they've got that beautiful skin. Like, how are you able to, keep that skin? I know you've got your products, which we're going to talk about. So this is Dr. Yvette's product, co-owned, her and her partner. So again, partnerships. It's her and her friend, Dr. That have come together and made this product together. Do we take care of our skin like we should do?
No, I don't think we do. As Africans in general, there's a subset of population that know that they need to take care of their skin, but it's not something that we instill in our kids as we are coming up. And I'm not necessarily sure that that's even just Africans. I feel like that's sort of just in general, people don't take care of their skin as well as they should. I think we're learning that how powerful the skin is, how it talks to us when we're going through all kinds of other diseases, and shows those diseases and how it protects us from so much. So people are starting to take care, not just so that their skin could look good, but for the betterment and the health of their whole body. A lot of people are doing that. I didn't always have great skin. I was called Lazarus by my sisters when I was growing up because I I had sores all over my body growing up. I was allergic to everything I ate, everything my skin came into contact with. I had asthma, so that went along with the whole eczema thing. I looked like, half the time I would look like I had big chunks of burns on my skin. But it wasn't, my mom was more worried about whether or not I was going to die from asthma than, okay, you got a rash or two and you're itchy. All right, that's great. We'll take care of it, later. So we did our best from what we knew. The good news is that as we get more information, we get more powerful, and we are actually learning from that and using that information to make sure that we are living more of a healthier lifestyle. So I really aggressively started taking care of my skin when I started medical school and I did my residency in dermatology. And it's funny, a lot of people have a misconception about what dermatologists do. Everybody assumes, oh, you just go, you have acne, go to the dermatologist and let them pop a few pimples for you. And our world is so different from that, so different from that. And once I stepped into that world, I was like, wow, how powerful is the skin? I'm not letting anything go. I'm taking care of the skin. So I started aggressively taking care of my skin. And that's why we have the skin line today, because Dr. O and I, Dr. Onundiwe and I, who's my partner in Skinergy MD, we're very particular about what we put on our skin. Very, very particular. But we have totally different types of skin. Yes. So we have totally different types of skin, but we came together again, realizing the need, and we both had a passion for skincare. And we realized as we worked together that we liked the same things. We were saying the same things, just sort of tailoring it to different skin types. And for me, that was important, that the person that I go into business with, the person that I partner with, has the same passions and the same dreams that align with what I want, because otherwise you find it that your line gets fragmented. We pull each other back. Half the time she has knocked me back in some sense into me, but I'll go on for time. She's like, come back. But you want somebody that's going to complement you. You don't need two strong people. You don't need two people who craft. You don't need two people who are public speakers. So it's not always looking for somebody who looks like you, but it's looking for somebody who can complement you. If you tend to be indecisive, you want somebody who has a strong sense of decision, like, okay, we're not doing that. Or if you tend to be more fruity and you want to put this in there, and you need somebody to snatch you back. And that's what we do for each other. So it's very important that in creating partnerships, and I know a lot of Africans don't do partnerships well. I hope that changes. But a lot of people don't like to go into partnerships, but it's ultra important, because then it's almost like you don't have to think about what you're doing wrong, because there's always somebody there saying, oh, wait a minute. Did you think about this part of what you're doing? Did you think about this pitfall before you actually jump down that hole? So it's very important to make sure you're partnering with the right person. But for us, it was very important that we come up with a line that represented us. Because I don't know how many times people walk into the clinic and they're like, I want your skin. And I'm like, no, don't want my skin. You don't know what, sometimes this skin is crazy. You don't want this skin. Let's have the best skin that you can have. Let's put your skin in the best light that it can be and tailor it to you and your needs. And I know Dr. O does the same thing. I tell people, if I need a dermatologist, she's my dermatologist. So we wanted to make sure that we included everybody in the skin line. Every skin type was taken care of. And we had sort of the basic essentials that everybody needs to have great skin. And we use Sheabutter, we use lavender, we use a whole bunch of different things. I guess the difference would be with our skin line, it's more medical, and it's more addressing. It's not really just the maintenance, but it's more addressing your skin type. But, one doesn't have to go without the other. As you're treating something in particular, you should also still be maintaining all the other parts of your skin. So that it's just very important.
Okay. And you said, it's so you did a product for the black skin, right? This is targeted at the black skin.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say ethnic skin.
Ethnic.
So we sort of looked at the landscape, and I have always mixed my own products. Oge has always mixed their own products. We don't necessarily like before we started, I was like, I have this in my house. She was like, I have this too. I'm like, I have this. She's like, I have this too. Because we mix our own product. And the reason that started is just like Benice realized that a lot of the things weren't working for her skin. I discovered a long time ago that what's in CVS and the normal drugstore, Boots, and all of those things were not for my skin. They didn't take my skin into consideration. They didn't worry about whether I would react to it, how much I sweat, the environment that I'm in. So we tend to spend all our dollars for products that don't necessarily take us into consideration. Sort of we're an afterthought. Okay, we've done this in America, it's worked. Let's take it up to Africa and have them buy it without really thinking about the little nuances of what people in Africa go through every day. I mean, look at how hot the sun is. The type of product you're going to put on your skin is going to be very different than what you're going to want to do in the wintertime in Europe or in America. And so that's how we started. I started mixing my products, and Oge also started making her own product. Is because we wanted to truly find something that everybody could benefit from. And every time I came home for vacation, I would just be so disheartened watching teenagers walk by with really bad acne or people in the streets. And, it was almost like the skin was a foreign concept. Taking care of your skin was a foreign concept. So we wanted to make sure that we had something that would work for ethnic skin. So not just African, Caribbean, South American, Indian, any skin that has pigment in it reacts totally different to a whole lot of other products that we use. I see that in my clinic every day. So we wanted to make sure that we gave a product that represented what was in our skin, what antigens are in our skin, what kind of proteins are in our skin, what do we do in our daily lives. We wanted to base it around that. And that's how we came up with the skin line for the ethnic community.
But I feel like when you compare ethnic skin to other skin, like our skin is really good. Like they have a quote like black don't crack, like because we seem to have really good skin. Why is that?
Well, we've got melanin in our skin, and that melanin is very protective. That melanin that people want to bleach in Ghana and in other parts of the world is what protects us from wrinkling early and our skin from sagging too early. But even with that, with black skin, if you don't take care of it, it will start to sag. So you may not notice the wrinkles, a lot of the little wrinkles that people have, fine line wrinkles. But you start to notice when you're at my age and you're at 50, your skin now starts sagging here, and you start to have deep lines here, and you have dark circles under your eye. The one thing we have to contend with is pigmentation. So, and unfortunately, that's what leads a lot of people down the rabbit hole of bleaching their skin. Is because everything you do leaves a mark on your skin. You get a little acne pimple, it leaves a mark on your skin. I've been finding these 2 dark spots on my chin for forever now. So everybody has their problem that they have to contend with. Ours is pigmentation and sagging. It may not crack. Again, I have the same. Black don't crack, but it sure does sag. And you still look aged if you don't take care of your skin. And we still have breakouts. We're not going to get out of that anytime. We have a lot of eczema. We have a lot of psoriasis. All of those things go towards determining whether you have healthy looking skin or not. So regardless of the fact that we have melanin and it's protected, we still need sunscreen also. Sunscreen, people, sunscreen. It will keep you young. It will keep your collagen from degenerating. It will keep your skin from sagging. People think that, I'm dark, so I don't need sunscreen. You need sunscreen. So yes, we're lucky in that we don't have to worry about things like skin cancer as much. It does happen still. I have plenty of Black patients with skin cancer, plenty of African American, plenty of African patients with skin cancer. So it's still very important that we protect our skin and we take care of our skin.
So what's a normal routine that we should be doing? For instance, I've got my Incoter Haven at home. I've put my makeup on. I've come back. How are we supposed to take care of our skin each day? Are we supposed to put on the Sheabutter before we put on the makeup? What is the process of taking care of that skin and exfoliating and all of that kind of stuff? What are we supposed to do on a daily basis?
So on a daily basis, everybody should wash their skin twice a day and put on a moisturizer followed by sunscreen. That is the bare minimum you should do. Okay. And you have to use one that's appropriate for your skin. So for example, if you have oily skin and acne prone skin, you want to use something that absorbs some of that moisture, cleans out your pores. So maybe like something that has a little bit of salicylic acid in there or glycolic acid will help. If you have dry skin, you want a cleanser that adds a little moisture to the skin and doesn't strip you of excess too much oil and leave your skin too dry and actually have you produce too much oil and still break you out. So you want to use something that has like a hyaluronic acid, a ceramide, shea butter, cocoa butter in there. But again, with the right products, not by itself, if you have oily skin. But if you have dry skin and it works for you, moisturizing your skin, it's fine. As long as it's not breaking you out, causing a rash, giving you discoloration, it's fine for you to use. Sunscreen, sun protection factor of 30 is the minimum. I mean, 15 is okay. 30 has more over 15, more protection over 50. And I usually say don't go more than a 50. I like titanium dioxide or zinc oxide in your sunscreen as your sunscreen ingredients because those are physical factors, physical sunscreens. They don't allow the sun to penetrate the skin at all. They block it. They reflect the light off before it even blocks it, as opposed to chemical sunscreen, which wait for it to be absorbed and then diffuse the particles. So I prefer zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Unfortunately, those are the ones that leave like the white, gray, ashy cast on the skin. There are lots of companies now that are making really good ones that don't leave a cast. So you can get really good ones and use it. In addition, it really depends on the age. It depends on your age. If you're in your teens, late teens, 20s, and you're breaking out a lot acne because of hormones, those are the normal times where you have acne, then you want to think about using things like salicylic acid and maybe some glycolic acid. I use benzoyl peroxide to kind of spot treat lesions. I don't use it all over for a lot of dark skin people because it irritates the skin and causes the discoloration without people realizing it. So just to spot treat like a big pimple, just put it on there a couple of times a day to get rid of it is great. If you need a retinoid, that's fantastic too. So the retinoids are things like adapalene, retin-A or tretinoin, tazarotene, those things like that. And those are things that you have to get by prescription. So you have to see a dermatologist to get those if you have acne, because those will help keep your acne down. And then if you're in your 20s, 30s, those are the times where you really need to start thinking about exfoliating once a week. So you want to make sure that once a week you use maybe something with glycolic acid that exfoliates your skin, because exfoliation is important to get rid of the dead cells, open up your pores, induce more cell turnover. So glycolic acid is one. You can use lactic acid also. Those are all the alpha hydroxy acids. So those are great for exfoliating the skin. If you are, by the time you're in your 30s, you really should also think about being on some kind of a retinoid, because the great thing about retinoids is, as much as they prevent us from having acne and they treat acne well, they induce collagen formation. Retinoids are the reason my skin are the way they are. Retinoids and alpha hydroxy acid. Because I've been using that, I don't know for how many years. I think before I started medical school, I started using it. And it's a great product. You can't over irritate your skin if it's a little sensitive. So you may need to back off a little bit. And instead of using a higher strength, start with a really low strength and then work your way up. If you're really sensitive, there are retinols over the counter that you can use, which we put in our product. So all of these things we put in our product to kind of create a kind of a regimen for you. We have one that we tailor towards teenagers and 20s. and then one that we tailor for more like 30s on upwards, to make sure that you get all of the benefits. Once you're in your 40s and 50s, you should really consider adding something like hyaluronic acid or some kind of ceramide, something that's heavier, because as you go towards menopause, especially women, as we get towards 50, we tend to lose a lot of the oiling factors in our skin. And you want something that not just covers the skin and keeps water from getting lost, but also traps water and holds water in your skin and keeps it there. And hyaluronic acid is great for doing that. Ceramide is great also for doing that. So you want to add something like that into your regimen. And then you also then start thinking about doing chemical peels in the 40s and even in your 30s. A chemical peel is a great tool to do your exfoliation once a month, once every 3 months, depending on what is going on with your skin. And that's where we put a chemical and it removes the dead cells of your skin, and all that beautiful, glowy, young skin comes up to the surface. So every age is different. And that's why it's so important because to have a dermatologist, because it's not just I'm this age and these are the things I need. It's I'm this age, this is my skin type, these are my goals, and I have these problems with my skin. So it's a very complex thing. But once you get a good dermatologist that sets you what suits your skin, then you can go from there and keep using, whatever they've planned for you and checking back every now and then, but you'll have a good regimen to fall back on.
Okay. So I know that you've opened up a clinic in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
How do people get to you? How do they, sign up? How do they get your products as well? Can you give us more information on that?
So the one-stop place to find me is to call Skinergy MD number, and it's 55 plus.
Hold on. So plus
233.
00233.
Yeah, 55 811 2825. And just start there and say what you need, and then we'll get back to you and figure out how we can help you, whether it's to choose products, whether it's to come and see us for consultation. I do like to see most people, if they're having a lot of trouble, I like to see them in consultation first to determine what needs to be done. Now, the one thing I will say is people in Ghana don't like to follow up. They think you're going to give them one answer and that's it. They come for one visit. That's all they need. You gave me the answer. I'm done. My skin should be better. No, it doesn't work like that with the skin. You have to come for a follow-up. Most things won't work for at least 2 months. And you may find that particular thing is not working for you. You come for a follow-up so we can assess why it's not working for you and what else we can add or what can we take away for you to get towards the path of clearing up your skin or having whatever wishes you have. So follow-up is very important. It's just touching base. Don't go and use the product for 6 months and decide. Sorry?
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Don't go and use the product for 6 months and decide, oh, it didn't work. It didn't work for me. And that's it. I'm giving up. And, or it's 4 weeks or it's 3 weeks and my skin hasn't cleared up. It can't be working for me. Most of the time, it takes at least 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, some products, 12 weeks before you start to see an improvement. So when it comes to the skin, you have to be very, very patient.
Yeah, and I think that's the patience is what we don't have.
Yeah. We have also an Instagram. On Instagram, I can be reached at Skin Dr. Yvette, YVETTE. So Skin DRYVETTE. And then we have Skinergy MD also, and it's Skinergy. It's spelled SKYN, but it's still Skinergy MD. So at Skinergy MD is our other page for the company. So either way.
Fantastic.
I've also started a different a page where we're going to be talking more. COVID has sort of set me back, but we're going to be talking more skincare, everything to do with skincare, skin problems, and that's at Dr. Skin, SKHN, at Dr. Skin. Also, you can follow me there also.
So us with oily skin, is it good to have oily skin? Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing?
it's not a bad thing at all, because quite frankly, the people with oily skin tend to have less wrinkles when they're my age. Because
Okay.
again, it's
Please repeat that.
Absolutely. You know, patients come in like, my skin is so oily. I'm like, okay, so we need to temper how oily it is and make sure that it's not causing you problems. But really, oily is good, because dry, dehydrated, nobody wants that. Dry, dehydrated, flaking off skin, that's never a good look. But oily, you can temper the amount of oil production that you have with the products that you're using so that it's just enough. Not too much to give you clogging of your pores and give you acne or oozing and looking oily all over the place, but enough to give you the lubrication that you need. I mean, there's a reason we have sebum. There's a reason the skin produces it. It has a protection factor, but we don't want too much of it. We want it to have just enough. The problem that a lot of people with oily skin make is that they think they have to strip themselves of all the oil they have in their skin. All you're doing when you strip your skin dry is telling your brain, your body's the system sends a message back to the brain, says, we don't have any oil. Brain says, okay, let's make some more. And you just overproduce oil. So the one thing you shouldn't do is strip your face with harsh soaps that just don't give you back any moisture. And then they say, oh, I have oily skin, so I don't use a moisturizer. Everybody has to use a moisturizer. There's no exception. Nobody should. It's just really the type of moisturizer that you're using that is important.
Okay. And how, I mean, do you think that actually, you know, obviously young people, we're using makeup a lot. How are we supposed to take off makeup from our face when we come back from an event and we are tired and we just want to go to sleep and we don't want
go to sleep? Don't do it. That's the one thing you should not do, is go to sleep with your makeup on. I know it's so tempting. You're tired and you've had so much fun and you just want to plop. But no, because that makeup has a lot of times, if it's not just a mineral makeup, it's got a lot of chemicals in there. And all of that is going to get stuck into your skin, get ingrained into your skin, stuck in your pores. It's going to make you break up. It's going to make your skin react to it. It's going to encourage bacterial growth. So you really have to make the effort to take it off. A couple of ways that you can take off. So we do an oil makeup remover, and we also do a micellar water remover. And the oily remover is usually for people who have a lot of dry skin and or sensitive skin. And we've got a nice combination of oils that it's just used, and they attract oil in the skin, remove excess oil as you're removing it, and also attracts the dirt in your skin. So you use that first to remove your skin, or micellar water, which is made of like this little wheel, and it just traps dirt, and it's very good. Oh, beautiful to remove your makeup. It's usually just a little pad, and you just swipe, and it removes your makeup. And then you should wash your face. Our micellar water you can really use to remove the makeup, and you may not need to wash the face. But I usually tell people, just, you know, at least give a little wash if you've put heavy makeup. If it's just like a little pencil here and a little powder that you've done, you may be able to get away with that. But if you have really heavy makeup, after you've used your oily or micellar water remover, you should make sure that you also wash your face with a gentle soap foam very, very easily. No harsh scrubbing as you're taking that makeup off, and then rinse off. And then put on a good moisturizer. And then it's time for night-night. You can go to bed happy.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Yvette. You're always amazing as always.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And then if Bernice, is there any last words for, you know, people out there that are interested in Sheabutter, interested in purchasing Sheabutter? I'll put your Instagram on here as well so they can follow you. But what are your last words to people who are watching you today?
All right. So I would like to tell people that they should trust our product. It's FDA certified. Our products are very, very affordable, and it can be found everywhere basically. So contact us and have an amazing skin.
Yay, love that. And lastly, Dr. Yvette, any last few words as well for young people, especially us young people that really aren't taking good care of our skin? Any last few words?
Listen, your skin is your calling card. It's the first thing we see when we see you. So it's very important that you put your best skin forward all the time. And if you need help, don't get frustrated and sit at home and, throw your hands up in the air and let your skin deteriorate. If you need help, make sure you get a good dermatologist or a good skin professional to help you along the way. It is ultra important, and your skin will thank you for it when you're my age.
Awesome. And then is it just, women that have to take care of their skin? What about the men?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody needs to take care of their skin. And I think men are starting to realize the importance of that. I mean, a lot of my patients are male and always interested in improving the quality of the skin, because even they recognize that where they may be not as pressed about little wrinkles here and there, they still need to make sure that they show up well with clean skin, bump free, especially if they're shaven with razor bumps. And we have several products that we use for that, for razor bumps. They have to make sure that they sweat a lot more, they work out in the gym more, skin gets clogged much easier. They've got those male testosterone hormones that make them break out. So a lot of my teenagers that I treat are also male because of so much exuberance of the testosterone. So it's very important for everybody across the board. Men and women, children, everybody should be taking care of their skin every single day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yvette.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
I put her details up there. I've put her telephone number, I've put her Instagram details. So make sure that you go and follow up if you have any other questions concerning the skin, pigmentation, whatever it is that you are having trouble with, she can help you. And also, she's actually based in the US, in Washington at the moment, but she's coming to Ghana in December, this month, actually. So you can be able to book an appointment, go and see her. I'm going to be booking mine to go and see her about my skin as well. So make sure that you do the same. And for all of you that are watching today, if you haven't already purchased Incoto Haven, listen, I don't want to talk too much. Just purchase the product and witness it for yourself. An amazing product. It's smooth. It feels good on the skin. You only need a little bit, and it's just, the oil is just amazing. So make sure that you go and buy one and support the cause. It's about supporting Black businesses, and we need to make sure that we are supporting each other. Thank you so much, my guests, for joining me on the show tonight. Guys, I hope that you've enjoyed the show. It's been an amazing talk today about Sheabutter, about our skin in general, about taking care of our skin, about how you should not be sleeping with makeup when you come back from the party or the club or wherever it is that you're going, that you must remove smoothly, not rubbing it, and take care of your skin. Take care of it. Look after it. It's one of the biggest organs that we have, and so we need to make sure that we take care of it. And like Dr. Yvette said, she said that Black people still need to be using sun cream. I remember actually a few years ago, my son's going out on a trip, and the teacher was like, "Oh, you need to." I was like, "You don't need sun cream. What are you talking about? It's black." What do you mean, this sun cream? Sun cream for what? Until I started learning that actually we all need to protect that melanin. Actually, we need to protect that skin that we have. And so it is important, guys. Don't just think that you have black skin, so you shouldn't be using sun cream, okay? Go out there and buy a sun cream for yourself, especially in the heat and in the sun. We need to make sure that we're protecting our skin. A big thank you to World Remit for sponsoring the show as always. You could join up to 5.7 million people worldwide who are sending money back home. What are you waiting for? Why are you wasting time? Go out there and send money with World Remit. Again, if you are in the diaspora looking for investments in Ghana, in Africa, make sure that you sign up to ODANA Connect. We'll be launching this month, yes, with all the investment opportunities that's available in Ghana. So you're looking for agriculture, if you're looking for a job, or whatever it is that you're looking for, it is the place, it's the only place that you should log on to get those information. Again, I just want to say a big thank you to Incoto Haven. Amazing products. Guys, go out there and purchase it. Again, Skinergy by, Dr. Yvette. and Dr. O, two women that have come together, have collaborated to make amazing products, which I use all the time. The one that I showed you is actually for men, and you know, it's a really good product. My husband uses that as well. And the amazing product by Princess Aria. Again, you know, my daughter started her hair range at the age of 6 years old, and you know, she was the one that picked out the color, picked out what she wants, and she did the same with her Princess Aria brand, which is in partnership with Incoto Haven. So guys, go out there and let's support the cause. It's been an amazing conversation. Thank you all for listening. Make sure that you share it with a loved one. You never know who needs to listen to this. And for Ghana, anybody watching, guys, it is election week, next week, Monday. We need to make sure that we vote in peace. Whoever that is you're voting for, you know, may the best person win and lead the country for Mother Ghana. We hope that the right person wins as well. And just go out there and vote. Just vote and go home. Why are you standing there? Why do you want to do anything? Just vote, go home, or go to the restaurant, or whatever it is that you want to do. Just vote and go in peace. That's all we want. We are, as you know, Ghana is one of the most peaceful places in Africa for many, many years. And it's been great. And we want to keep it that way. We absolutely want to keep it that way. So guys, thank you so, so much. If you, somebody just messaged, I missed the presentation. Don't worry, you can watch it over again. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Facebook. You can go over it and watch the valuable information that we have put out today. So guys, thank you so much. Stay safe. Please stay safe in this COVID times. Wear your mask, social distance as you are supposed to, and keep that mask on. Keep it on. Keep it on. Don't take it off. Okay? All right. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.